Attention!
Come on!
Go!
And do you think, Jess, that the Bedford School crew would be nervous after that crab yesterday? We saw them, I think I was actually commentating that race when they caught the crab, and they were certainly paddling it down. They weren't under much pressure, probably lost about 2 lengths in the incident, but fortunately had such a commanding lead that they were able to get there still. But do you think that they would carry a bit of nervousness, or would that be put down just to a lack of concentration in that moment?
If you're in my boat, you get a bit of ribbing for that kind of crab. And he's probably not going to be able to live that down for the rest of the season, probably for the rest of his rowing career. But to be fair to the guys, they kept really calm, they got it out of the water, they twisted it, they got it out and they kept going. It's one of those freak things in rowing. We've caught them in international races. Your blade might just catch the edge of the water. And what happens, we call it crab in rowing, when the underside of your blade catches the water, and it kind of gets caught, almost like a crab's holding onto the end of your spoon, and it gets caught in the water and it acts like a handbrake to the rest of the crew. It happened to anyone, and these guys got that out of the way on the first round at Henley yesterday. Sitting a length up there over Westminster, keeping their calm this time round.
Yes, when I first said that to my parents, it took them a few weeks, I think, before they finally asked exactly what it meant catching a crab, because I thought it was quite obscure. There'd be a crab in a freshwater lake where we rode, so just explained that very well. But we can see here Bedford School Boat Club looking very strong. I mean, they had a pretty comfortable row yesterday, but now's their chance to really work hard today and put one on the board. Westminster School Boat Club in the pink rowing suits closest to us on screen, just not quite stacking up here in this early stage of the race.
These boys have had a good season, this Bedford School Boat Club. 4th at national schools, taking big chunks apparently out of some of the more established schools. Really placed themselves on this schoolboy age rowing scene this season, and they've got to be relishing this, just seeing how many days of this regatta they can get through. If not win the whole thing. I mean, that's what you sit on the start line for. You sit on the start line to win each race and win the competition you're in. Looking strong there, these Bedford boys.
Yeah, they do look good. Great shot down the course there. You can see the umpire launch following the 2 crews down the river. We ride here with the Westminster School Boat Club.
I think this year the Westminster boys, their top crews are in the quad. So you'll see them racing junior quads for the event. These guys are doing a good job here. Young crew, small crew, a lot of them under lightweight men's weight, a lot of them under 70 kilos down here in our programme. So to line up against this bigger Bedford School and do the business there. And we talk about weight a lot in rowing. I mentioned it in the first race we watched this afternoon. And we use weight a lot in rowing because it's a leverage sport. We're levering ourselves past the handle. So not necessarily, but normally the bigger people are the stronger people and the faster people. That's why we talk about weight as being an advantage. Certainly don't look like they're taking it down just yet, Bedford. They probably don't want to learn from yesterday's mistake of being too relaxed. Rowing with a double bucket there, Sarah.
Yeah, and that's what our concern was yesterday, was that does make it a little trickier, particularly for the 7-man, because those puddles are a little bit closer than they normally would be. So you do have to be very skillful. You have to make sure that you get your blade cleanly out of the water, stepping out over the puddle, which comes towards your blade a little quicker than it would if it was 2 seats back. So having that tandem rig in the 6 and 7 seat definitely makes life a little bit trickier.
So normally in rowing you'd alternate. So if you look at the Westminster crew in pink, they've got 1 row on each side going down the boat. The Bedford crew, Berkshire station, through the middle of their boat they've got 2 guys on one side, and directly in front of them they've got 2 guys on the other side. Sometimes just to change the rhythm, change the weight in the boat, change the power in the boat. It's interesting to put two of them in there for all you rowing geeks.
And it stayed fairly consistent, the margin, all the way down here. Bedford School Boat Club taking an early lead over the Westminster School Boat Club. You could hear the coxswain there. That was a great little snippet there, hearing the coxswain. You can see the back of the Westminster coxswain there, Alex Foster. No doubt driving his crew all the way to the line. They won't want to leave anything behind here.
They're looking aggressive still, this Westminster crew. It's always hard when you can't see the crew next to you that are beating you, but aggressive behind there. We heard the cox, as Sarah said. Really trying to get the most out of those guys sitting in front of him.
A great shot there of the bowman from the Bedford School Boat Club, Austin Roberts. It's his first Henley Regatta. He's currently in Year 9. He's been rowing for in Year 12, been rowing for 3 years, since Year 9. So they're coming down towards the finish line now, past the steward's enclosure.
A lot less eventful race there for Bedford than it was yesterday, but some good rowing by both boats.
Bedford School Boat Club crossing the line there. No doubt happy to make it down to the end of the course relatively event-free.
Okay, 3 cheers for Bedford.